you. I love 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 you so much. I love you.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love you forever. I love you no end.
Okay.
I love you like no other. It's the best. Have a great day. Bye.
She is my earth. She is my wind. She is my fire. She is my soul's desires. She is the inspiration that keeps me from breaking. She is my spirit's conversation. And I love her like I never loved another. She is my daughter, my sister, my mother, my grandmother. The matriarch, queen of the kingdom. Isis, or Set, Sheba.
I can't let this day pass without hearing your voice. I mean, I'm not going to stop trying. So, you should answer your phone when you get a chance. Or call me back. Because I love you so much and I need to hear your voice. Okay, bye.
She is the primordial glue of life. Ark of the covenant, too, of life. She is my lady, my lover, my wife. She is amazing. I love her, I live her, my life. Together we will build a stronger nation. Through procreation. It's my job to protect her as a man. Do the knowledge, to the wisdom, then overstand.
I don't know what happened. I was telling you how perfect your body is. How much you turn me on. Looking at you. How I can't help but lick my lips and bite on them because I'm trying to hold that passion so that take your clothes off and admire the beauty that is within and underneath those clothes. Oh my God. You are amazing. Makes you think statues of you.
She is the best thing that ever could have happened to me. She is a queen, truly. You make me better, rising to any challenge. Never saying never, never smiling.
I would say that you should be a male stripper, but I would really hate to have all those women admiring the beauty that belongs to you. So, I would be happy to just be selfish. And hopefully you will too. Anyway, hopefully you'll finish talking to you tonight because I took that nap earlier and I'm not tired. And there you are. I love you. Bye.
Tiamat, Dragon Goddess. Welcome back to another episode of Wild Feminine Magic. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the video. In her role as creatrix, we travel back with Tiamat to her Phoenician roots and even earlier to Sumer, where she was the original primordial dragon mother goddess, Tiamat. Before Tiamat became a legend in Sumerian civilization, she was the creatrix goddess and serpent mother who created life from the primordial waters until her battle with Marduk. And the Lord stood upon Tiamat's hinder parts. And with his merciless club he smashed her skull. He cut through the channels of her blood. And he made the north wind bear it away into secret places. Marduk sliced Tiamat in half, he made from her ribs the vault of heaven and earth. Her weeping eyes became the sources of the Tigris and the Euphrates, her tail became the Milky Way. 16. With the approval of the elder deities, he took from Kindu the Tablet of Destinies, installing himself as the head of the Babylonian pantheon. The Tiamat myth is one of the earliest recorded versions of the Chaoskampf, the battle between a culture hero and a chthonic monster, serpent or dragon. Primordial chaos battles linked to the Tiamat myth are found later in Greece, when Apollo killed the Python to take over the Delphic oracle. Robert Graves considered Tiamat's death by Marduk as evidence for his hypothesis of an ancient shift in power from a matriarchal society to a patriarchy. His theory suggests Tiamat and other ancient monster figures were depictions of former supreme deities of peaceful, woman-centered religions that turned into monsters by the new order of patriarchal religions. Their defeat at the hands of a male hero corresponded to the overthrow of these matristic religions and societies by male-dominated ones. Graves' ideas were later developed into the Great Goddess theory by Maria Gimbutas, Merlin Stone and others. Once her story became distorted, her worship slowly declined, her temples broken and myths forgotten. But she survived, her worshippers brought the great primordial goddess with them. She changed form and names from Aphrodite, Astarte, Asherah, Inanna and Ishtar, but she always remained in the hearts of her devotees as her worship spread to many of the Mediterranean islands. We see this connection to water and dragons earlier in the goddess-worshipping serpent cults of India. The earliest Indian deities were goddesses and the first rulers were regarded as divine cobras, to whom was attributed the power of controlling water. These Nagas, whether kings or queens, gods or goddesses, were the prototypes of the Eastern Asiatic dragon. Snake's symbolism originated from its identification with the Great Mother in her destructive aspect, and therefore not surprising that the snake is the most primitive form of the evil dragon. The Babylonian Tiamat was originally represented as a huge serpent, and throughout the world the serpent is preeminently a symbol of the evil dragon and the powers of evil. The serpent that tempted Eve was the homologue both of the mother of mankind herself and also of the tree of paradise. It was the representative of the dragon protector of pearls and of other kinds of treasure. It was the goddess who protected the sacred tree and attacked all who approached it. The dragon was originally a concrete expression of the divine powers of life-giving, but with the development of a higher conception of religious ideals it became relegated to a baser role, and eventually became the symbol of the powers of evil. Could Tiamat, the great mother goddess of the primordial waters, also be associated with Tanit of Phoenicians, Carthage and Ibiza? The Tanit cult remained strongly rooted in the island of Ibiza, where the goddess was adored until the rise of Christianity, in the 2nd century AD. Ibiza is the place where more statues of Tanit have been found, especially in the Cova de Coloram, in Sant Vicent de Sacala. She was one of the most important goddess of the Carthaginians, as she defended the sacred island of Ibiza. Tanit was a divinity represented by the lunar crescent, associated with the god of agriculture and therefore, the fertility of the earth, animals and people. She also had the character of a goddess of the underground, health and death, and she was the protector of the deceased. In this aspect, she resembles the Potnia, ancient snake goddess and mistress of animals that we see in the iconography of ancient Crete, where ancient oracles were once deeply connected to the power of the earth and could sing the truth into the world because of how connected their womb was to the womb of Mother Gaia. The sacred serpentine priestess could shed, change and transmute lower emotions into higher awareness and love. She could unify opposite polarities. She could anchor higher energies into earth because she was a vessel of divine love. There once existed a serpent priestess lineage. Ancient depictions show women in scarlet robes, working ritually with serpents, serving the goddess of love, fertility, and war. The color of their clothes was symbolic of their power and their sacred serpent priestess lineage. Patriarchal Western society has viewed the serpent as evil where she was once revered and venerated, bestowing wisdom and the secrets of transformation. The priestesses wore robes of scarlet, the color signifying the source of their power, and were titled Hor, or in Greek, Hierodulai, or beloved ones, having influence on the kings and dignitaries in the lands they chose to settle. They did not enter into marriage for life, but rather would have children with different kings and powerful men, securing alliances and protection for their children. High Priestess engaged in the ritual reenactment of the sacred marriage between the Muzi and Inanna with a young man of her choice once a year on the spring equinox. The tales of Inanna make it very clear how she picked lovers and promoted them to kingship. Here, she embodies the sovereign queen and kingmaker. Her priestesses would have followed her example. One priestess known to us as a whore would be Rahab, who held a position of influence in Jericho and brokered an agreement with Joshua that she and her family would be spared. A scarlet thread was tied outside her window so his men would know to spare the occupants of the room. She then became one of the ancestresses of King David. As emissaries of the serpent cult, these priestesses formed alliances with powerful men and established lines of descent. They were also revered by those who shared the same lineage. Inanna was a member of the Sumerian pantheon, along with Ninhursag, Enki, and others identified as part of the serpent cult. Through these Sumerian priestesses of Inanna, the path of the Red Goddess traveled through the Middle East and Mediterranean through Celtic France, Spain, and Scotland. This path and its teachings are now popularized by the Da Vinci Code and Holy Grail. The serpent priestess became known as Magdalenes and have a special mission in the 21st century to reweave the dragon ley lines with the divine feminine energy matrix, open the portals of Venus and anchor sacred temples on New Earth. The primordial dragon energy is returning to Earth. Dragon energy was the kundalini energy of the Earth snaking through Earth's lines as male and female energy eventually integrating into a vortex. These vortexes became energy centers of creation and healing where temples and sacred places of worship were often built upon. It is believed that the sacred sexual priestesses of the dragon lineage and Magdalene lineage will return to Earth to activate these sacred temple spaces where the primordial creation energy of the Earth was once honored and celebrated. That brings us to the end of today's video all about Tiamat, dragon goddess. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to leave a thumbs up and to subscribe to Wild Feminine Magic for even more fascinating content, just like this. As always, thanks for watching. See you again soon in the next one.